So make sure you have a couple of pillows, maybe some beach towels nearby so we can prop ourselves up. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna start on your back, knees bent, feet a little wider than hip distance apart, arms out to the sides in a T. And then you start breathing. And first start breathing into the lower belly. So between your belly button and the creases of your hips, imagine expanding that part of your body with your breath. And be curious about how your breath is functioning today. So what does it feel like? What's its tempo? How deep is it? How easy is it to breathe? And then expand the breath to be a little bit bigger by drawing in not only into the lower belly, but also into the middle of the body. Somewhere between the base of your heart and your belly button, allow that to expand more. Then expand the breath all the way up into the clavicles. So from the creases of your hips all the way to your collarbones, imagine a deep inhalation starting at the bottom, moving to the middle, and ending at the top. And then letting the breath on the exhale. And on your next inhale, not only breathe deeply, the three-part breath that we've been practicing, but imagine you're breathing into the backs of your shoulder blades. So there'll be a little more emphasis pushing into the upper back side of the body. And allow the arms to encourage this breath. It's almost as if you're breathing into your arms, breathing into your wings, if you will. So there's a deeper breath moving into the fullness of the back body. Notice if the right or left side is easier to breathe in. There's typically one lung that's just a little easier to inflate than the other. And then from here, take your arms down, continuing the deep breath. Take your feet hip distance apart. Straighten your left leg. Push your right foot down to the floor. And as you inhale, push your right foot down. Lift your right hip up off the floor. Like a side bridge pose. And then exhale, come down. And again, inhaling, pushing your right foot down, lifting your right hip up. Exhaling and releasing. So moving with that breath. And then in this posture, even though it's a dynamic movement, you're allowed to linger, you're allowed to stop and hold the pose anywhere along the way. If that feels good, if there's an opening for you there. You don't have to hold the breath, you can breathe through it. I want you to think about today of meeting your edges, those places that you're tight, again, with curiosity and kindness, always being open to the sensation. And also think about not hitting it so hard. So moving to a light opening, a light sensation to moderate, not trying to go for the big hit. There's a lot of goodness in gently moving into the opening so your nervous system has some time to accommodate it. A couple more breaths here. And release, bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. And then left side. As you inhale, push your left foot down, lift your left hip up, side bridge. And looking for the light to moderate opening. And then if you find any sticking points, maybe staying there, holding it, or maybe doing a more limited range of motion in that place where you find that stickiness, whatever it feels like to you. That tickle of opening. It could be a tickle of resistance. More breaths here. And then release, bend your right knee. Feet hip distance apart or maybe a little bit wider. Kneecap spacing straight up into the sky. As you exhale, round your lower back into the floor. Tilt your pelvis. Your tailbone points up towards the ceiling. And then as you inhale, lift the lower back off the floor. Point your tailbone down towards it. And keep moving. Exhaling, rounding the lower back. Inhaling, lifting the lower back. Notice what happens to the chin as you're doing this. So exhaling, lower back reaches down, chin points up. And then inhaling, lower back lifts up, chin points down. So driving the gentle rocking of the neck, cervical part of the spine with the direction coming from the lower back and the pelvis. Again, any sticking points here are allowed to linger, hang out there, play with it kindly. more times. On your next inhale, come into neutral, what feels like neutral to you, so lower back will not be smashed into the floor. The natural curve of your lower back, lumbar curve. And then from here, we're going to go side to side. So as you inhale, tilt your pelvis to the side, point your right sit bone down towards your right heel. And then as you so exhale, come back to center, and then inhale, reach your left sit bone down towards the left heel. And then come back up. Inhaling and reaching. Exhaling, coming back to neutral. Use the breath to encourage the movement. So expanding the left side of your body, maybe with the breath, so that the left sit bone naturally feels like it's reaching down to create the space in the body. And then when you exhale, allow that to feel like it's naturally bringing you into neutral. So even though we can tell our body to move without the breath, we're gently inviting the breath into the movement to take the lead. There's this great quote of, allow the breath to be the lead dancer. The lead dancer is the breath, if we allow it to be. Now we can go a little deeper now, so you can straighten your legs. And as you inhale, reach all the way to the sit bone, but to the heel. And then exhale and come into neutral. And then again, inhaling, expanding. Exhaling, coming into neutral. So play with that. If it's too much on your hip flexors or on your abs to do that stretcher, feel free to bend your knees again. And again, wiggle to linger. If you find one side is tighter than the other, needs more attention, allow that to happen. Appreciate the asymmetry. Move into it with the curiosity and kindness that we have. More breaths here. And then come into neutral, bend the knees. Your right shin on top of your left thigh. And then from here, same thing, as you inhale, actually lift your lower back off the floor like we were doing before in the cat-cow. So you're inhaling, lifting your belly up off the floor. You might find a gentle tinkling in your right hip, your right buttock. And then exhale and round and back off on it. And then inhale and go back into that opening. And you can adjust the intensity by how close you take your left heel towards your left sit bone. Or you can even lift your left heel up off the floor, so on your left tippy toes. Observe how the lower back can help you move into that light to moderate opening in the right hip. And then you can take your right thumb and place it into the crease, the outside crease of your right hip, where your thigh meets the trunk of your body, and pull the outside of your right hip down. And you can hold here so that right hip isn't lifting up. It tends to do that to get out of the opening. It's a little trick of the body. So by pulling the outside of your right hip away from your right ear, away from your right shoulder, and lengthening the right side of the body, move into a deeper hip. And if it's too much, remember to back off. We're just looking between light and moderate, whatever you got in you today. And then release. Take your right foot down. Take your left shin on top of your right thigh. And again, cat-cow here. Inhale. Lift the lower back off the floor. Exhale, round the lower back into the floor. So gently starting to move into the hip with a gentle awareness. Notice if this hip is different than the other. What's going on the left hip versus the right hip. Legal to linger at any point of the way. You can take your right heel in more intensity, even if the right heel is off the floor. Really trying to keep the shoulders and upper back out of it and focusing instead on the hips. And you can take your left thumb, hook it into the outside of the left hip crease to pull the outside of your left hip away from your left ear, shoulder. Move into that opening. And a light opening can feel strange when you're used to hitting hard, when you're used to going from moderate to intense stretch. It's almost like a little bit of a tickle. But again, it allows the body to open more slowly, but it also allows your nervous system to not react so hard and to pull back. Because the nervous system will try to protect us if we hit too hard into an opening, and it'll stop the muscles in their motion. So what we're doing here is we're just gently moving into the opening, allowing the nervous system to adjust itself calmly. And then release. Take your left foot down, straighten your legs, relax and feel. And then take your toes, point them straight up towards the sky, legs straight, kneecaps straight up. Engage your leg muscles. See if you can feel the backs of your thighs on your mat or on the ground, wherever you got it. And then turn your right leg out to the right. So the right knee points out towards the right. Point your right foot. Pick your right foot up off the floor. Bend your right knee out to the side. Touch the inside of your left ankle. And gently draw your right toe up the inside of your left shin. Maybe over the left knee. And then exhale and take the right foot down. Easier to do this with socks on. Acknowledge, but you can be done barefooted. I have done this before. So you're going to gently draw the toe up the inside of the left leg, and then gently draw the right toe back down. So if you're familiar with yoga, it's kind of like a dynamic tree pose. Right knee moving out to the right, and then exhaling and coming. Rest anywhere along the way, hold anywhere along the way. I like to pause a little bit at the top of the posture to take my right knee a little bit more out to the side, and then resume the posture. So holding that tree pose, if you will, for a moment before moving back into the dynamic movement. Again, rest if you need to, if it becomes too intense. A couple more breaths. And then on the top of your next inhale, see if you can hold the pose and take your right fist and place it to the outside of your right thigh to help you hold. Breathe. Or you can take your right hand and support the outside of the right leg if the fist is too far down. So modify. Don't hold the breath and hold the posture. And then release the right hand and allow the right foot to come all the way down. Relax the right leg, relax and release. And feel. How does the right side feel compared to the left side? And then take your toes back up, kneecaps straight up, legs engaged. Turn your left leg out to the left. Left kneecap points to the left, left toes to the left. Point your left foot. Get your left foot up off the floor. Touch the inside of your right ankle and then gently draw toe up. And exhale and take it. What's different on this side? What's curious about this side? Again, looking for that gentle to moderate opening. Now this isn't, there's a fair amount of stretch in this, but because we're doing active range of motion, as opposed to a passive pulling beyond our active range of motion, the opening here is going to be far more gentle, even though the body is efforting more. So I like to play at the top of the pose to see, is there more opening, or am I just habitually moving that way? Because often we can move habitually, hit a point, so that's as much as we've got. But then if you actually ask your body, it may move just a little bit further. It's like we get used to our more limited range of motion when the body actually is capable of a larger range of motion. You can play with that. Even if it's just like a quarter of an inch more of a range of motion that you're playing with, counts. It's like moving beyond the preconceived limitations of our body. Couple more breaths here. And then on the next inhale, take your left hand, support the outside of your left thigh, or place your left foot or left fist underneath your left hip to support yourself. And breathe. And then release the leg, release the hand, relax and feel. And then bend your knees one at a time. Roll over to the right side and fall. And grab your strap. And then you can have your head in neutral. So place your head on your arm. And the knees are bent. With your strap, you're going to lasso the top of your left foot. And the right knee's bent for support. And then from here, you're gonna pull your left knee toward your face so that your left hip points out behind you, your left buttock. And then keep it pointing back as you slowly take the left knee and point it directly away from your head. And then with the strap, kick your foot into the strap to activate the front of the left thigh and breathe. And then notice if your left hip has kind of thrown itself forward, keep the crease of your left hip pointing back, reaching back behind you. Release the kicking in the strap and then see if you can pull that strap a little bit farther back behind you and allow the left hip or left thigh to open more. So left quad opening. Breathe. A lot of tension can get stored in the quads. Holding this opening, kick your left foot back into the strap. Kick, kick, kick. Again, try to reach the crease of your left hip back behind you. There might be a little bit of shaking. And then exhale, release. And then again, pull on that strap and see if that left knee goes back just a little bit farther. If you have to choke up on the strap, do so. Or if you can grab the foot with the hand, you can do that as well. Just be really gentle on the left shoulder. Not going for the shoulder opening, going for the quad opening. Okay, last time. Kick your left foot into your strap or your left hand. Pull the top of your left thigh back behind you. Engage. It's like you're kicking into the foot so that you engage the front of the left thigh, the quads. Fire them up. Breathe. And then release and see if you can reach that left knee farther behind you. So those of you familiar with bow pose, Dhanurasana in yoga, this is like a half Dhanurasana. Half bow. And then gently release the strap, pile the knees on top of each other, relax and feel. Feel the blood rushing in. And then switch sides. So you can just roll over, or you can flip sides all together if you want to see the screen. Head in neutral. Knees pile on top of each other. Lassoing the top of the left foot. The left knee is your kickstand, is your stabilizer for this posture. And start with your creases pushing back, your sit bones jetting out behind you like you're arching your lower back, which I guess it would feel like you are. The key is to not hip the hips forward, but to keep the hips back. Then take your right knee, point it directly away from your head. And then kick your right foot into the strap. Activate the front of the right thigh, all the quads firing up. And then release. Take the front of your right hip crease back and then pull your right knee back behind you just a little bit more. And then kick. Second time, kicking your foot into the strap. Try to keep your right sit bone pointing behind you as opposed to hitting forward towards your face plane, front of your body. A couple more breaths, keep kicking, shaking, encouraged, and then release. Keeping the crease of your right hip back, maybe take your right knee behind you even more. If it's available, you can grab your foot at any time. Just trying to make sure you're not cranking on the shoulder. Any arguments between legs and shoulders are typically won by the legs. Last time, kick your foot into your hand. Activate the front of your right thigh. Keep the top of your right thigh pushing back behind you. Keep breathing. And then release. And then take your right knee back more. And then let go of the foot from the strap. With a hand, pile the thighs one on top of each other, relax and feel. And then from here, you're gonna flip onto your bellies. And then you're gonna have your arms, your hands together in like a prayer pose, palms together. And then you're gonna place your thumbs, like the base of your thumbs on the bridge of your nose. So like that. So you can rest your head down on the floor. Like so. If this is too much for your neck or your head, you can take your head down and place your forehead on your forearm. So I'm gonna do it with my head on my hands. And then from here, turn your toes under. Push your pelvis down into the mat, but pull your abs away from the mat. Pull your abs in, engage your core. So you're not like hanging out into your lower back. Keeping that tension of your abs pulling in to protect the lower back, reach into your right heel. And then exhale and relax. And then inhale, reach to your left heel. So we did this on our backs, we're doing this on our stomachs now. and then come back into neutral. So inhaling and reaching to the heel, keeping your abs in, exhaling, coming back into neutral. You might notice that when you let go of the abs, you'll feel it more in the lower back. So keep your abs in. And legal to linger. So one side different than the other. Go for it. Hang out there. One more breath. And then on your next exhale, allow the pelvis to come into neutral. Engage your quads, lift your knees up higher, pull your abs in, and then from your belly button, pull up into your upper back. So there's a stretch forward in the chest, away from your hips. And then at the same time, reach to your heels behind you. And then release the legs, point the toes, take your head down, take your forehead on your forearms, and relax. You can even kind of wiggle your heels side to side like someone was like wiggling your legs like Traeger method, but just allow the body to relax. Okay, then flip onto your back again. Back here. So after the back bend, we're gonna release the hips a little bit. So take your feet as wide as your mat, arms up to the sides in a T. And then as you exhale, take the knees to the left, turn your head to the right. And then inhale, take your knees up. Take them to the right, turn your head to the left. So windshield wiper pose. So moving with the breath again. Inhaling, knees up. Exhaling, other side. Think of the inhalation as allowing you to gather energy to fight the gravity, and then exhaling, allowing your body to go. Couple more breaths. And then on your next inhale, kick the knees up. We're gonna go back for your strap. You're gonna be on the right side of your body. You're gonna have your right leg straight and slightly forward with your right foot flexed. That'll come in handy because you can think of it like a kickstand. Then from here, you're gonna lasso the bottom of the left foot with the strap, and then you're gonna take your left knee and point it straight up to the sky. So imagine you're in tree pose. So you're in that, we did tree earlier on, so hips are open. Knee pointing straight up, then gently start to open up the tree. You're gonna gently start to straighten the left leg. Wherever it Go. Straight-legged hamstring openers are the hardest. Don't lock the left knee, keep the left knee soft, keep reaching. And then again, from here, we're gonna do something different. You're gonna pull against your strap, your left heel towards the floor. So activating the back of your left hamstring. And breathing. Seeing what that feels like. And then release that pulling down and see if you can take your left foot higher up towards the ceiling or towards you, towards your face. Remember, it's a gentle to moderate stretch, so we're not trying to hit into our max range of motion here. We want to leave a little bit in the tank. And then second round, pull your left heel away from you towards the ground, activating the back of your left hamstring. Keep breathing. Feel the gentle tickle of the left hamstring opening. And then exhale and gently release. Maybe taking the left foot closer towards your face or towards the ceiling. And then last time, pull your left heel down towards the floor, away from you, using the strap for resistance. Breathe. And then exhale and release, and maybe take the leg a little closer. So those of you who know triangle pose, this is like a reclined triangle pose, if you will. And release. And then other side, you can just flip over, roll over, or do the whole flip and toss. Kind of easier to lasso the foot here. Head in neutral, left foot in front of you. Right leg up. Take your right leg up to that point where you feel like the gentle tingle of an opening. So not even moderate, just think light. And then from here, kick. Kick your right heel away from you towards the floor. So you can notice how having that left foot bent now is really helping you with the stability, falling over. Lean into that leg a little more. And then release the right hamstring. And then allow the right foot to come closer to you. Second round, kick. And release. Your right foot closer. Staying with the edge. Last time, kick. And then release and take your right foot. And then take the leg all the way down. Flip onto your backs, relax and feel, legs straight. then from here, bend your knees one at a time. Roll over to the good side. Push yourself up. And then grab your pillows. And place these at the bottom of your mat. So your knees, active your knees are going to go on the pillows. Then grab one of your towels and you're going to fold it up. This is going to go under your lumbar. So what you do is fold your towel up once the long way, and then you can fan fold it into the height that you think might support your lower back. So if you had lumbar support, how high would that be? And it's different for everyone. And remember, you can always adjust it. So if it's too high for the pose, you just come out of it and adjust this. So this is going to support your lumbar, this is going to support your knees, and then you're going to take your other blanket or towel, and this is going to support the curvature of your neck, so the cervical spine. And so however round that might be, and again, you can always adjust that. So, and then I like to start with my hips between the pillows and the lumbar support first, and then lie back and see how that goes. And then, if that's okay, no modification is needed, then I'll pull in the roll for my neck and then up to the sides. So the props are supporting all the curves of your spine. And even the knees. And then if anything, as your body settles into the props, if it feels too high, just adjust. So we're going to be here for about 4 more minutes. So while you're here, you can play with a bit of meditation, if you will, while the body is supported. And you can do that with the breath. So see if you can bring your mind back to the breath every time you take an exhale. Train your mind to focus on the bottom of the exhale, right before you take the beginning of the next inhale. You can even allow the mind to almost surf the breath on the exhale, seeking out the base of the exhale. And then allowing the mind to release as you inhale. And if it comes along for the ride on the inhale, even better. But if the mind floats off in the next couple of minutes to whatever it's going to float off to, what minds do. See if you can catch yourself floating and bring it back to surfing the entire exhale. So maybe your mind is off in a story somewhere, planning, remembering. See if you can catch yourself doing that and come back. Gently bring your body back, your mind back. Wiggle fingers and toes. And then bend your elbows and take the roll out from underneath your neck. So your head goes straight back down. And then bend your knees one at a time, place them on the pillows, and roll to the good side, where your shoulder is happiest. And then push your top arm hand down into the floor to gently push yourself up. And we're gonna come into a seat. Even if it takes 30 seconds to set it up, do it. So the key is when you sit, you wanna have your knees below the crest of your hips. So you don't wanna be sitting so that your knees are up above your hips. So you can grab pillows, blocks, books, whatever it takes. If it's super uncomfortable for you to sit, you can lie right back down with your knees bent. And I encourage everyone to learn how to sit with their body comfortably, if you ever have to. So the knees below, and then from here, lean back, head lined up over your pelvis, shoulders back. Notice if your chin is down or up. Allow your chin to come into neutral. Where did the hands go? The hands are dictated by the shoulders. So pull your shoulders back, pull your elbows back so that the elbows are directly underneath your shoulders, not pulling your shoulders forward. It's easy to slump here because you're fighting gravity. So there's a whole art to just sitting. Notice if you're leaning forward or backwards, try to find that neutral point. What does that take? And once you have the pose, take a couple of breaths, just like we did before, and allow your mind to surf the exhale. It's almost as if on the inhale, you gather the mind. And then on the exhale, you send it down the slide, the water slide of the exhale. And then release that and see what's left. And take your hands together in front of your heart if you're comfortable with that. Bow your head to yourself. And then you can take your hands down on your thighs, lift your head, and open your eyes. It was so good to see you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend.